say I've had too much. The room surrounds me, I cannot stay in touch. And I know my mind from my body don't tell me it's not so. Oh, say it's so easy, say I'm not worth it. Oh, take me for granted, I'm not perfect. Show me the better side of the world, yeah. Play me, I tell you, I won't be pushed. Don't say I've had too much. The room surrounds me, I do not give a fuck, yeah. I'm on the edge and I dare you to push me. And I dare you to push me. Watch me dance in the rain. I may be crazy, but this feeling's insane. And I know I'm tripping. I only see black and blue. Oh, taking the next step stronger than ever. Oh, you broke me up now, but I'm still better. Show me the better side of the world, yeah. Play me, I tell you, I won't be pushed. Don't say I've had too much. The room surround me, I do not give a fuck, yeah. I'm on the edge and I dare you to push me. And I dare you to push me. Don't say I've had too much. The room surround me, I do not give a fuck, yeah. I'm on the edge and I dare you to push me.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. Oh my god, I sound like garbage. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing better than me. It's my turn. It's finally my turn. After the boys got sick and Pincalo is getting over being sick, it's finally my turn. I'm coming down with it. I can feel it in my throat. I'm sure you guys can hear it. I could hear it in myself when I was recording my video today. Hey, Cannibalistic Wizard with the dab emote. How you doing? Anyway, yeah, I can feel it in my throat. I can feel it in my sinuses. It's coming. It's coming. I don't want it to, but it's coming. So bear with me. Bear with me for the stream. I'm gonna be here. I've got a bunch of stuff to go over. But before we do that, I just thought I would share this comment with you that I got on the video for the Margot Robbie video from somebody that I swear is a bot account. It says, okay, I think the people who say that the Barbie movie was anti-male are totally missing the point. They're being way too harsh. I adored Barbie as a male. Why are you saying a male and not as a man? Why are you saying as a male? As a male myself. And I'm sure that someday I'm sure Margot's son will love it someday. The film's message isn't men suck. It isn't that men suck whatsoever. Barbie Land shows the opposite of our world. Which means that... oh my god. So if you think that currently men are in power... if you think currently that men are in power and Barbie Land shows the opposite of our world, then wouldn't it stand to say that the men are subservient to the women? Anyway, it's opposite to our world. And the film is saying that the perfect society is gender equality, and one gender should not be favored over the other. The president, Barbie, even lets some Kens on the Supreme Court at the end. That language right there. She even lets some Kens on the Supreme Court. That's like, oh look, she even let the nice dumb people on the Supreme Court. What the fuck are you even saying? Do you hear yourself right now? President Barbie even lets some Kens on the Supreme Court like it's some giant favor. Margot and Greta Gerwig, the director of the movie, made the film for both genders. Yeah, that's what they said. Made the film for both genders to enjoy. The Kens even get some of the most iconic moments. The I'm Just Ken, Margot Robbie getting snubbed for Best Actress while Ryan Gosling being nominated proves the film's point that the world's still pro-male. Why are you saying male? You're not a man. No man, no self-respecting man talks about themselves like, I'm a male. I am a male. Like, no woman goes, I am a female. Like, what the fuck? This was either written by the most beta of people, or this is a bot. That the world's still pro-male even now, and that needs to change. That's why I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Oh, Kalama Harris. Not even Kamala, Kalama Harris. To become president. As it's about time the U.S. had a female president. Let me see if there's more here. What happened to my lines?
You should pull it up.
I will. Let me pull it up here. But let me pull it up. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that comment when I got it. Hold on. Where is it? Where is my video? There we go. I will pull up my video and we will look at the comments. Oh. There's Clownfish's video. Why am I just not searching for myself? There we go. Sorry, guys. I want you guys to see this whole comment. Okay, we'll pull up my video. Okay. There's my live stream. There it is. Hello, everybody. Okay, play and pause. And now we will go to the comments section. Let me put that over there. Comments. Okay. Here it is. Okay, here is the comment. So, okay, I think those people that are saying that the film is anti-male are totally missing the point and are being way too harsh. I adored Barbie as a male myself, and I'm sure Margot's son will love it someday. The film's message isn't men suck whatsoever. Barbie shows the opposite of our world, and the film is saying a perfect society is gender equality, and one gender should not be favored over the other. The President Barbie even lets some Kens on the Supreme Court by the end. Yay, good for them. Margot and Greta Gerwig, the director of the film, or the director of the movie, made the film for both genders to enjoy. The Kens even gets one of the most iconic moments. I'm just Ken. Margot Robbie getting snubbed as Best Actress, but Ryan Gosling being nominated proves that the film's point, that the world's still pro-male even now, and that needs to change. That's why I'm voting for President Kalama Harris. They meant Kamala, I know it that, but I'm reading it as it's written. To become president, as it's about time the U.S. had a female president. That's the comment. There's Pinkalo's comment. They want that planet from the first season of Star Trek that's run by only women. Yeah, they do. They do. But yeah, that's the comment I got, and it really feels like it's a bot comment, if that makes sense. BPception. Hello, I am a female. I am a lesbian. Or we are all lesbians. Let me lesbian you. Don't worry, that's just my female penis. The Barbie world part was amazing. The preachy part sucked clammy under boob. Ugh. Unlike the USA, the rest of the world is rational, unlike the recidivist, puritanical Americans. Yeah, what is with that? Wow, you sound like absolute ass. We have ran tests, and the best we can come up with is to take you around the back of the shed and put you out of your misery. Oh, gee. Thank you, Fairy Kitten. Thank you for your overwhelming vote of confidence there. And this is just the beginning, by the way. This is just the start of the cold. This is only the beginning. I am going to sound a hell of a lot worse before I sound any better. So, yeah. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. But oh well. So last night I played some Last of Us. I think I'm gonna save every Sunday for like games that aren't Mortal Kombat. And they shot my horse, and I got very angry, and I shot all of them. I shot and killed most of the people that were out hunting for me because they killed my horse. I was very upset. And that wasn't like built into the story, like the cinematics or anything. No, that was me. I was like, you fucking killed my horse. Boom. Boom. I even threw a fucking Molotov at one of them. I was like, you killed my horse. You fuckers. Oh, I was so pissed. I like horses a lot. You can't do that. Can't kill my horse. It makes me angry. Anyway, so we're gonna start off our stream, our videos, with a couple of shorts. Our first one is from Blind Surfer Pete. It's a video titled, "Are You Smarter Than This Guy?" I have a feeling we're about to come up against an idiot that was like, "You're not blind," or something like that.
I know what these shoes look like, and if you can figure out how that's possible, you've got one up on the guy who recently and rudely asked me to describe these shoes to him, and I said, "They're red and black with white soles." And he goes, "How do you know that if you're blind?" I'm like, and that's the second time that's happened. To understand how I know what the shoes look like, let's me and you try something. Underneath this sweatshirt, I'm wearing a black t-shirt. It has a white banana on it, and he's cartoonized and has a face. He looks either tired or high. So you haven't seen the shirt with your own eyes, but you probably have a pretty good idea of what it looks like and could probably even describe it to someone else if they asked you to.
Yeah, I have a shirt that has a frog smoking a blunt, and it says, "No es café, pero me despierta." It's not coffee, but I'm up.
Even though you haven't actually seen it till right now.
Right.
Because I told you. I don't understand why people don't understand this stuff. He's like, "How do you know what your shoes look like?" I'm like, someone told me.
So sorry. People are such idiots.
What? You killed a community for a virtual horse. I hope nobody kills a squirrel with millions of fans. Well, that was bullshit too. That was absolutely bullshit. That poor squirrel and that poor raccoon.
People are so mean. I'm blind.
So, I hate when people ask me how I know what I'm wearing if I'm blind. Like, there's a difference, right? Between a very calm and very, like, politely asked, "Hey, how is it that you're able to differentiate between what different outfits you have?" Right? That's a polite way of asking. Not, "If you're blind, how do you know what you're wearing? How do you know what that looks like, huh?" Like you're trying to catch the blind person out. That really pisses me off. I hate when that happens. It used to happen to me on TikTok Live all the time. That's one of the other reasons why I deleted my TikTok. Was because I just, a lot of the interactions, like there were some positive ones, but there were vastly more negative ones than positive ones. So that's why I got rid of the TikTok, because it was just listening to that shit. Just, Well, how do you know what you're wearing? How do you know what's what? Or the best one would be, I would be folding clothes that were obviously children's clothes, and they'd be like, do you have kids? And I'd be like, no, I just have random kids' clothes. I just steal clothes from different children all over town. I don't actually have kids. I just have their clothes. And I just keep washing them and folding them and putting them in child-sized dressers. in rooms that belong to children. No, I don't have, like, what the fuck? Obviously I have kids if I'm folding kids' clothes. Like, all the time. These people see... they should wear a helmet. Yeah, they really should. This is what I'm talking about earlier in my Margot Robbie video. This is why I was like, we shouldn't have closed down the institutions. We should have reformed them, because there are so many people that are just wandering around that are just completely inept. Like, they don't... And, like, they're not all malicious, but they're gonna fucking hurt somebody or themselves at some point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I just can't believe how people still, like, manage to function with all this stupidity and lack of empathy and lack of emotional intelligence. It's...
You need to take it out of theater mode.
Oh.
Because theater view makes it so you now block over half the screen. I have it set up so you don't block that.
How did it get into theater
I don't know.
mode?
Just let you know.
How do I get it out of theater mode?
I'll fix it. Because basically, yeah, you're covering all the meat.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong? Your eyeballs hurting?
No, I can feel myself heating up.
Yeah. Join the club. Take off your sweater then, you'll cool down.
But I'm also cold at the same time. Okay. Here we go. I know, I'll open it up fully. There we go. Okay. So, this special person said Calgary home offers razors instead of Halloween treats and blames Trudeau. I'm gonna say that again. Calgary home offers razors instead of Halloween treats and blames Trudeau. Now, I don't like the dude at all myself, but come on. You can't possibly think that's going to fly.
Some trick-or-treaters in Calgary were met with this on Halloween night. A bowl filled with disposable razors with a sign reading, "Sorry, we can't afford apples because of Trudeau."
Oh, fuck off! If you couldn't afford candy or anything, or apples or whatever you usually put out, then don't put anything out at all. You didn't have to do that. And by the way, packs of disposable razors aren't, like, exactly cheap. You're not gonna buy them for $1.
So this here, just razors. The sign was spotted in the community of Bowness, and while Calgary police confirm they received a report of razors being handed out, there is not enough evidence to indicate a criminal offense occurred.
What the fuck? How is it not a criminal offense to hand out razors to children? Here you go. It looks more like a joke. A dumb joke. Yeah. shitty blue Bics. Oh, really? No, I don't have I don't have kids. I'm preparing for child season in 6 weeks' time. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It sounds more like crybaby bitches. I think they missed the joke, Halloween, death, morbidity. Yeah, I get the joke. I get it. But it's dumb. It's stupid, and it only furthers Trudeau's, talking points of, oh, look at what the, quote, far right are doing. They're handing out razors to children. Does Pierre Poilievre support that? Huh? That's what they're gonna do now. Thanks to this dumb fuck in suburban Calgary. It's a dumb joke. It's a very stupid joke. I don't understand the whole point of ruining Halloween for stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Cause it's, even if you think it's funny, the kids don't think it's funny, and regardless of your politics, you don't need to get kids involved in your politics, right? You just don't. It's Halloween. Just hand out candy. I think you don't have to spend more than $20 on candy to hand out to kids. That's really it. You don't, nobody's expecting everybody to hand out the giant chocolate bars in cans of pop. If you can't afford to do that, don't do that. But I don't know. It's just a dumb joke. Just a very dumb joke. At least I think so. Okay. Twitch is getting worse. Which is why I haven't been streaming over there, because it's been everybody keeps telling me that their apps are glitching when they try to watch on Twitch, which that's not fair. It's Calgary, I'm not really shocked. Calgary is like the Adelaide of Canada. That's funny. But yeah, Twitch is getting a lot worse. Which is why I'm not streaming there right now, because A, it's glitchy. B, there's gonna be blowback from this whole taking sides with Israel versus Palestine thing. It's just not gonna go well. And Neon from Clownfish TV is gonna help break that down for us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. It's game related. I don't think she really cares. We're going to talk about Twitch. We're going to talk about Twitch and how things are getting worse for Twitch. The mainstream media is paying attention.
Oh, that's not good. The mainstream media is now looking into Twitch. That's not a good thing.
To their uneven handling of their terms of service. Twitch, of course, is under fire for banning some people, not banning others. Right now, there is a feeling amongst the media, amongst journalists, that some of the people at Twitch are very anti-Israeli, and that they're favoring streamers that are anti-Israel, like Hassan, while banning others, like Asmongold.
And they would be correct. And didn't Twitch also ban Israeli account creation? I heard something like that over the past over the past little couple weeks. Oh, it's just far worse than just the tech side for Twitch. Twitch is giving Reddit a good name. It really is. It's like the choosing sides. Ever since this has gone, like, I've been streaming every day and I haven't cracked the $50 in ad revenue, which means that I'm pretty sure that advertisers, I've heard that
apparently his office
advertisers
banned
are
now,
pulling out.
But he thinks he's going to get banned again. But this goes so much beyond that. This latest instance of Twitch showing favoritism, because we know in the past Twitch has shown political bias. We know in the past that Twitch has favored e-girls over VTubers.
That's true.
We know that if you even have a username that they don't approve of, they will ban you.
They showed their ideology when they banned Destiny for what he said, because it was pretty damn tame, and they perma-banned him.
Very, very nebulous in there.
And I don't even agree with anything Steven says anymore, and I'll still say he shouldn't have been perma-banned.
Their practices. Now, apparently, within the last month or two, they've added a feature that, it'll actually show you what you did wrong to get the ban. But I still don't think it's enough to save Twitch. I think at some point, Amazon is going to unload this money-losing site, and it is bleeding out money. I mean, this is from July of this year. Amazon.
They didn't ban Israeli account creation per se. Oh, so they don't ever send you the verifying email code? Interesting. I think they stopped account creation from both Israel and Palestine. Thor did an analysis of his stream and determined it costs about $10,000 for pirate software to stream 12 hours a day. Jesus. Dan Clancy is killing the site. Oh, is that the Amazon? Why not stream your media on Twitch? The receiving emails were
paid $1 billion for Twitch in 2014. It's still losing money. Amazon also paid a lot of money, or Bezos paid a lot of money for the Washington Post. And he's like, yeah, we're going to have to rein things in. We're going to have to curb the political hot takes. I don't care. I'm going to have to sit on this thing a little bit more. A lot of issues came up when he was refusing to take a side in the election. He wasn't going to let the Washington Post endorse a candidate. Of course, in this case, it's Harris. Of course, it's Harris. Right? It's the Washington Post. They're going to endorse Harris. Yeah. But he also made some other comments that, like, hey, this paper's losing money, and you guys are just kind of phoning it in, and I'm going to...
Well, they were phoning it in, and it's obvious. Like, it's also obvious that when a newspaper gets called out, like the CBC getting called out up here, now they're actually starting to report things like that RCMP nonsense that I reported on this morning.
Have to watch it a little bit closer. I think he's going to turn an eye on Twitch. I don't think he was really paying that much attention. They were laying people off. They've been laying people off for the last couple of years now. But I think he's going to turn his eye to Twitch, the eye of Sauron, and he's going to look at Twitch and be like, you guys are costing me all kinds of PR nightmares. Yeah. Mostly Dan Clancy, the current CEO, and we're gonna talk about that. He's getting in trouble all over the place. Apparently, they're catching him. They're catching him liking porn as some of the people that are on Twitch, which in and of itself isn't a huge deal, right? If the guy likes porn, the guy likes porn.
If he likes porn, he likes porn. But if he's liking the corn of the people that are putting content on his website. That's a little bit weird. That's a little bit weird.
He's an adult, whatever, right? But it does show that there is some favoritism going on there. So anyway, before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Check out Clownfish Minus. We're trying to build a life raft off of YouTube. All these platforms, they can turn on you on a dime, right? They can. I mean, that's one thing I've learned in the last 2 years especially, is you can't trust any of these platforms. And if all your money comes from Twitch and Twitch gets shut down, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? Hopefully you save some money, right? I'm looking at the lifestyles of some of these streamers. I'm like, I don't think you guys are saving any money because.
No. And or if you're like me and you just make a little bit of money, it's that's why you end up pushing your Streamlabs link.
Because that's like a $3 million house. That's like a $200,000 car. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are saving money or not. But my old man advice is you need to be doing that. But check out clownfishminus.com. We have content over there. We do not have elsewhere. You're not going to find it on YouTube for free.
Oh, interesting.
So let's I guess let's walk it back first before we talk about Dan Clancy and this latest round of allegations against him, and it is hitting many media outlets.
He's just trying to send love back to his platform users through their OF accounts. Nux, who is Jewish, is very aware of the situation. He's kind of a chaotic entity for watching Twitch burn, and he enjoys watching Twitch burn. Who loves watching Twitch burns for how they've handled this. Yes, I agree.
just want to remind you that, yeah, Amazon paid a lot of money for Twitch. This was Wall Street Journal, July of this year. Amazon paid almost $1 billion for Twitch. It's still losing money. So the live video service has slowing user growth, and workers are expecting more layoffs and changes ahead. And this was just a couple of months ago, guys. They said they paid nearly $1 billion for it because they bought it thinking that esports were going to be huge, and they weren't.
No, they're not. Like, there's still esports, like, still exist, but they are definitely not the thing that people thought they were going to be.
They never really blew up the way that they expected and Comcast expected with G4 TV. It just never really took off, right? The way that they were hoping. A decade later, the retail giant has received little financial return from one of its bigger acquisitions, known for hours-long broadcasts of video game play.
Used to be known.
Previously known for hours-long broadcasts of video game play, Twitch remains unprofitable despite periods of explosive popularity, according to current and former employees knowledgeable about its finances. This is one of the biggest problems with Twitch is it's having an identity crisis. They don't know what it is. It's a streaming service. It's OnlyFans Lite.
The commenter wasn't a bot. I just checked his channel. Has the Barbie DVD as half his avatar. Oh, Lord. Esports is a dying fad. Esports 2016 is calling. Hey, Spittlebuggies! Previously, like 12 years ago.
It's got a lot of political talking heads on it. A lot of people jump ship for Kick. A lot of people jump ship for YouTube.
Yep.
It doesn't know what it is, right? And apparently
No.
it's not enough to just be a video game streamer anymore on Twitch. You have to have spicy political hot takes, or you got to flash your tits or something. That's apparently what it takes, because you look at their biggest streamers and they usually fall into one of those two camps. Even if they play games, they also have political opinions. Hassan started out playing games, right? Asmongold, does he still play games, or is he just comment on videos and stuff? I think he still plays games. I don't know if he plays them on stream very often. Mostly I catch his clips on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, it's just everybody's kind of fallen into that. We're just chatting, or we're just chatting and you're seeing my nipples or something. That's basically Twitch.
And that's unfortunate because you get stuck and relegated to being lumped in with all those people, even if you're not, wearing body paint and, being naked in a hot tub
It's
or
reviewed
whatever.
by the Wall Street Journal show Twitch's biggest paying users are opening their wallets less, and third-party data reflect the growth in new users and engagement has slowed. Yeah, there are only so many whales out there, right? And the problem is, and this goes back to the video we did the other day, that Twitch has
hold on. There's no decent games for new esports. Nope.
hard time selling advertising. Because it's not like YouTube, it's not like Google where it's highly targeted. It's like, these ad agencies
and Madden games
have to drop a minimum of $100,000, which in the grand scheme of things for an ad campaign is not a lot of money, but it's, you know, pretty sizable. You're not going to have mom and pops spending that kind of cash, right? But they have to drop $100,000 and it's spray and pray. Your ads are going to be on whatever content they have, and they don't know. And this is part of the reason I think
you don't get to pick like on YouTube what content your advertising goes on. It's just boom, your ads are.
I think
on
YouTube
content.
sort of dampens live streams is because they don't know what content is going to be on a live stream. Mm-hmm. It's my personal opinion. I mean, you can do okay on live streams, I think, on YouTube if you set a time. But it seems to me that YouTube does not organically promote people that just randomly stream. That's just been my experience. I think they want to run it through the gauntlet, the AI gauntlet, and make sure you're not saying anything you shouldn't be saying to make sure it's brand safe. You know, so it's not great for that. The people that are successful, like in our space, you've got like Nerdrotic and crew. Well, they do the show the same time every week, and they have.
That's true, and that's why I. That's one of the biggest problems I'm having is my consistent streaming time
for years. So people tune in, you know. But I've noticed that even with live streams, it seems like the super chats are down. The economy's not good.
No.
And again, you can only get so much out of the whales. Eventually, you know, people are going to run out of money or get tired of giving you money, or somebody else is going to give them something else for that money.
That's true. That's a very true statement, and that's why you've got to try to make your stuff fresh and new and fun. They couldn't get enough players together for a FIFA tournament. Oh god. That's sad.
Yeah, you can't drop $50 a week on somebody for years.
No.
Just to, you know what I'm saying? It's after a while, it's like everybody's tightening their belt. The thing that gets me about this, though, one of the biggest problems with Twitch, just in general, my observation is that it is basically viewer supported. Right? Like they give you the hosting, they give you the platform, but it's up to you to actually build your audience, and it's up to you to make your own money with subscriptions and stuff. Because the ad revenue, as I understand it, over there is not very good.
No, that's what I mean. Like I would get a check for about I would just barely break the ad revenue threshold. And I haven't done that in 3 months, despite having streamed there every day.
And so it's mostly subscriptions and, you know, super chats or whatever they call them over there. I haven't used Twitch in years. I don't really give a shit. But that's where the money comes from. And YouTube actually will tell creators that they want them to do that because, again, that's less that YouTube has to do, right? They get a cut of your earnings, but you're monetizing your audience. So yeah, of course they like it when you have memberships. Of course they like it when you do like shopping links and stuff like that, because they're monetizing your audience. And any more of the heavy lifting, it's up to the creator. And I can tell you this as somebody who's been doing this for a long time. Even before we did Clownfish TV, we had other channels. We've done other things. We've had websites. Basically, the heavy lifting, you might be using their platform, but the heavy lifting is still on you.
Yeah.
And they're more than happy to take a cut.
Like, YouTube, you're the one who has to create the channel or create the content and put it up. And you're the one who has to provide everything. Like, YouTube allows you to just put it there.
Of your audience. That's what they do. Anyway, they said following 2 rounds of layoffs in the past year, staffers are concerned that a 3rd round could come this fall following an annual operational review. According to people familiar with the matter, Amazon chief executive Andy Jassy, who took over in 2021, has led a profitability review at the company and shown little tolerance for unprofitable businesses.
He doesn't like money. He doesn't like businesses that don't make money. He wants that sweet, sweet money.
Yeah, so this is what I've been talking about, right? See who this guy is. Amazon's losing money on Alexa devices. Yeah. This happened with...
Oh, yeah. The OTK and the Moist Esports with the Australian players. Yeah, I watched that Black Romeo. That was insane.
Comixology, too.
They had to basically compete solo.
They bought Comixology because they wanted to lock down graphic novels and manga and all that, and they actually had Comixology originals, and then they just shut the thing down. It was profitable. It wasn't profitable enough. Disney does this too. They shut down the division that made Disney Infinity, which was a hugely popular game back in the day, but it wasn't profitable enough.
It wasn't.
And these big companies, like, they're always looking for those margins. If we spend $1 billion, are we going to make, $1.1 billion, or are we going to make $3 billion?
Yeah. Because if we're going to make 1.1 million, well, then we don't want anything to do with it. But if we're going to make 3 billion, well, then hell.
And the shareholders are going to ask us why we're not making $3 billion instead of $1.1 billion. Just because we like the service, just because we like Twitch or we like Comixology or whatever, isn't a good enough reason to keep it open. Said insiders worry Twitch is at risk of becoming what they called a zombie.
Yeah, they couldn't enter the country because of the team name. Yeah. Keeping those terrible Frenchmen out of the U.S. Yeah, so esports kind of wasn't allowed to get bigger. Yeah.
Brand Amazon internal projects or acquisitions that have been sidelined because they haven't lived up to expectations. These staffers pointed to the book review app Goodreads, online task finder Mechanical Turk, I forgot about that, and discount website Woot. A spokesperson for Amazon said it has always taken a long-term view of Twitch and noted its ability to attract harder to reach audiences. The company said it remains confident in Twitch's potential. And this goes on and on and on. And talks about how Twitch has pivoted from video games into just chatting. So that gets us into the current controversies and why I think Twitch is definitely on borrowed time here. And anybody that's on Twitch, I highly recommend you start building a platform elsewhere.
Well, and this is why I'm kind of glad that my YouTube is already like sort of there. Like I've got 102 subscribers. Like to do some real talk here with you guys. If I don't get another 102 subscribers by the end of the year, then I'm shutting everything down. Because I've been doing this for 7 years and I've had like no substantial growth or anything like that. So if I don't have 1,500 subs by the end of the year, then I gotta do, like, I gotta stop. And 102 subscribers in 40. No. It's November 4th today. So, like 50 something days. That is very doable. It's very, very doable. Especially if I keep uploading consistently and going live consistently. So, but share the channel with your friends. Make sure I don't go anywhere. Think about this. If Wargaming releases another ship in World of Warships, it will generate, even if not popular, 2 million US dollars. Pokemon could be an esports game. Yeah. Be a shower, not a grower.
So, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy addressing claims of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia amid the Hassan Abi controversy. So, this led to them posting new guidelines dealing with politics, and that you have to mark political content. And for some people, they're like, yeah, that was a step in the right direction. For other people, they're like, it's not enough. Like if you've got people on your stream calling for violence or whatever, like I don't know exactly what Hassan has reportedly said. I don't want.
Oh, Hassan has been saying some horrific shit. Like compared to what Asmongold said, it's nothing. Like Hassan has been just, oh my god, he's been saying horrific shit that I will not repeat.
Right, his clips come up recommended every once in a while, but I don't watch them.
No.
If he said anything like super inflammatory or calling for violence or anything like that, then they absolutely positively need to shut him down. They said that people have been booted off of Twitch for less. You know, again, Asmongold critical of Palestine gets 2-week suspension. Hassan, nada.
Yeah. Asmongold got a 2-week suspension. Destiny got permanently banned.
So this is a day after, this is coming from Sportskeeda, a day after a U.S. congressman sent a letter to Twitch concerning the streamer Hassan Abi for anti-Semitism. CEO Dan Clancy has addressed the claims of hateful rhetoric on the platform. He shared a press release on social media talking about anti-Semitism and Islamophobia hours after Twitch reportedly added a new content classification label.
Okay. So what? Now they have a politics label? Is that what it is? They now have a new, what's it called? Politics label for your
Clancy has
content?
been dealing with accusations of hating Jewish people for a couple weeks after the H3 podcast host, Ethan Klein, called him out for allegedly supporting anti-Semitic content creators like Sneeko and Fresh and Fit. And again, I don't watch any of these people.
Oh, be glad. Be
glad.
But
there have been... What my understanding of the situation is that the bans are very, very uneven.
Oh, they are. They are insanely uneven. And they need to be either all or nothing. That needs to happen consistently.
Right. Either you can be critical of the situation in the Middle East, both sides of it, or you can't be.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like they're trying to do this content classification thing to at least give the appearance of being more fair, right? Well, Twitch is primarily known as a video game streaming website, not anymore. The Just Chatting section has grown significantly in popularity with social political commentators like Hassan and Asmongold making content reacting to relevant social and cultural issues. Political discussions tend to be quite sensitive, and recently Twitch has been dealing with a controversy surrounding anti-Semitism, which stemmed from complaints from podcasters such as Ethan Klein, Destiny, and Dan Can't Stream. Dan Can't Stream? That's the guy? Okay. He accused the...
Hell, Nugs talked about how Sneeko got unbanned. Oh, really? That's crazy.
platform of geo-blocking Israelis from signing up and registering for accounts on October 20th. Things have only escalated since then, with politicians getting involved. This is a Democratic congressperson, that Richie Torres, sent a letter out. So it's not just this. Now people are trying to dig up dirt on Dan Clancy. Apparently, they said he was caught actively using multiple porn websites, can I say that? And even favoriting one of his employees' videos.
See, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. It just means you're kind of like sleazy.
So this is what they're saying. I cannot verify. But some people are like, yeah, is anybody shocked by this? Makes sense why they allow the P word to plague the front page despite being a 13 plus website. That they're into this sort of thing.
But it's a 17 plus, like it's technically a 17 plus website.
So, like, look, I think the rabbit hole, no pun intended. I think the rabbit hole goes pretty deep, no pun intended.
Twitch started to circle the drain the moment they got the equivalent of a trust and safety council. Yep. And a furry Yep. You're not wrong.
No dirty jokes intended. But yeah, they'll ban VTubers. But they won't ban e-girls. I don't know what Twitch is. I think Twitch is gonna.
Does Twitch know what Twitch is?
I do not see Amazon. Again, I could be completely wrong. They could do a complete 180, but like, there are so many other streaming platforms out there, even X, even Twitter. You can stream now. You can't even stream to freaking Facebook. I don't know.
I've thought about hooking up the stream to X, but I don't know.
Who the hell would want to do that? But you can stream to Facebook. You know, 2014 and internet time was ages and ages ago.
Yeah.
Might as well have been 100 years ago. I mean, things have changed so much since then. And I just don't see where Twitch is going to be relevant. I think eventually Amazon's going to look at it and be like, yeah, this shit it's not worth the aggravation.
Nope.
Even if it's making some money. We got to contend with these headlines. And Bezos doesn't want to piss anybody off, right? So it's easier to just shut it down, write it off, or sell it off cheap, probably for a lot less than what they paid for it.
Yeah.
And call it a day. Then
they'll take a bath on Twitch if they sell it. But I don't think at this point that they care. I think at this point they'd probably just want to get rid of it. And call it a day. And that's why I've started just streaming on YouTube. But that's also why I've been pushing the Streamlabs link so much. Because I'm not quite at the 3,000 viewing hours for monetization. So that's why I've been like, share the stream, go to the Streamlabs link, all that, because that's basically all that I've got right now. But that's besides the point. Twitch is just getting absolutely Twitch is just going absolutely to the dogs. And it's just, I don't even know how to describe it other than what Neon just described it. This is why we should bring back Tumblr. Allow all the freaks to have their own space. Yes! Wow. The Trust and Safety Council for Twitch is based in Egypt? I didn't know that. Interesting. That's very, very interesting there, Black Romeo. I had no idea about that. I may have to go make some tea on the break. All right, Bering's got some cringe campaign ads for us to watch. So I figured we'd take a look, since the election is tomorrow. I figured we'd take a look at this. It's called "The Democrats Are Not Okay." And so we're gonna take a look at these cringe campaign ads. Come on.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that.
Brought to you by White Dudes for Harris.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that.
Now I want each of you to shout your own name. Okay.
Brought to you by White Dudes for Harris.
It's like
Okay, the US
Qatar is the chair of the Human Rights Commission. Yeah.
Election's almost here and the tension is palpable. I mean, I'm kind of just watching from afar, obviously, but it seems like you could cut the tension with a knife in America.
You really
and as you
could.
might know, I've been monitoring the ads, the election ads, the painfully cringe election ads, coming mostly from the Democrats, I might add. Now, there's been one final spate of ads, one final Hail Mary round of cringe ads, designed to get
boy.
you to vote Kamala and keep that nasty orange man out. And seeing as it's all going to be over in a few days, I've got to cover them. I kind of feel like it'd be unfinished business if I didn't. So here we go, the final round of cringe ads for the 2024 election.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Thank you, Bering, for grouping them all into one spot.
Your turn, honey.
Oh,
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose.
What the fuck? In the one place in America where women still have the right to get fucked.
You can vote any way you want.
The one place in America women still have the right to choose. Come on, get fucked. I'm pretty sure in America...
Thank you, Bering, for saying exactly what I just said.
America, like Australia, women choose a lot of shit. My wife chooses heaps of stuff. She chooses the furniture, the decorations. Fucking hell, she chose our house. I mean, I liked it too, but I liked about 3 that we looked at. But I was like, okay, let's just buy it. Fine. If you like that one, let's get it. The Democrats this time around are such a one-issue party. I mean, abortion is everything. If you...
That's what they're doing up here. That's what they're doing up here too. It's so weird. It's like the Liberal Party of Canada and the Democratic Party of the US have decided to be exactly the same. What the gibbering cringe. I know, right?
You don't have the right to slaughter a baby at 9 months in utero, then you don't get to choose anything. By the way,
Kamala just put her head down and got to work.
this is Julia Roberts, yet another celebrity telling Americans how to vote. Ricky Gervais did a good piss take on celebrities telling people how to vote. I'll show you in a sec.
And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Sure did, honey. I hope he doesn't beat me when we get home. I mean...
Did you make the right choice? Oh my god.
Come on, this ad suggests that women have no fucking agency. They're just...
It does. It's like, I better vote for Kamala or my husband will beat me when
poor
we get
little lambs
home.
that A, didn't know that they could vote how they wanted, and B, were too big a pussies to talk about it with their husbands. I mean, it's kind of degrading when you think about it.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
Yeah, that was cringe. Anyway,
What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Now let me tell you how to vote.
here's that Ricky Gervais video.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, it's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country. And you don't want that.
Donald Trump continues to deny the
My
facts.
God, I love Ricky
He continues to deny the science. That's why I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
Who's the person that's number 1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on, boys. Let's make America great again.
So this is basically the first ad, but with the bros. The message is you don't have to tell your mates who you voted for. You can just tell them you voted for Trump so they don't think you're a massive f***. And that's...
Oh my god! Jesus, really? Holy shit.
True. But in reality, mates can tell each other that sort of shit. And if they can't, then they're not real good mates, are they? During the last Aussie election, one of my best mates told me that he was voting for the other team than me. I didn't give a fuck. He's got every right to do that. He's no less of a buddy now. I mean, imagine being that weak that you think you've got to lie to your mates about this sort of shit.
It's your turn, buddy.
Before you cast your vote in this election, think about how it'll impact the people you care about the most.
Daddy!
Remember, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Do your patriotic duty?
You bet I did, brother.
What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
So we're expected to believe that that big burly bloke was about to vote Trump, but then saw his 8-year-old daughter and thought, you know what? At some undisclosed time far into the distant future, I really want her to be able to get an abortion. Like, you know, 3 or 4 days before she's due to give birth. Now, I know that's not the policy of all Democrats, and I know that wasn't a thing under Roe v. Wade, and I know there are some Republicans that are really
cringy as hell. These ads are just...
Are these the new Democrat ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scary.
Bering has put them all together into one little spot for us. It's all very nice.
strict on this issue. But come on, he wasn't thinking about the economy or his ability to support his children now, or all the illegal immigration into America, or all the foreign conflict
is between me and the glory hole.
That's bubbling up. None of that. It was all abortion. That's what got him. And look, like I said, if that's what he wants to vote on, then good on him. But don't be such a pussy about it, fictional character.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
Yes, you just saw a young man vigorously masturbating to his phone.
Can't do that.
Yes, you just saw a young man vigorously masturbating to his phone. That's how cringe these ads have gotten.
What the fuck is happening? Why are we showing masturbation in a fucking political ad?
Oh man, how'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge. We're banning porn nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally.
What the hell?
Oh, doesn't that give you douche chills? I'm gonna make sure you don't finish illegally. So as far as I can tell, this ad is referencing Project 2025, which is like...
They actually think Project 2025 is real? Holy shit, it was bad enough when Kamala was talking about it during the debate. Now they're doing campaign ads about it? Oh my lord.
Like a kooky thing by the Heritage Foundation, and that does call for the banning of porn, but like Trump has said repeatedly, it's got nothing to do with him. Yeah. Now the other thing is Texas banned Pornhub, but that was all to do with age verification laws. Pornhub apparently didn't want to play ball, so Texas just said get fucked.
Yeah. Pornhub didn't want to follow the law in Texas, so Texas said get out.
No Pornhub here.
They're allowed to do that.
Oh, God. The condom broke.
Okay, we're really leaning into this bedroom shit, aren't we? This is going to be about abortion because, you know, that's the only issue that there ever was and ever will be.
I plan B in the bathroom.
Great.
That was the visual joke you missed during the intro. The visual joke that I am jealous of you for not being able to see.
I'm gonna go get that now.
Oh, okay, plan B. It's about contraceptives. I knew it was going to be abortion adjacent.
Sorry.
That was an epic scream. That kind of sounded like Homer Simpson.
You can't use that.
Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we ban Plan B.
No,
That's not going to happen. Stop lying.
You can't do this. I can't have a kid right now.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. Now let's get back in there so we can give her the news, Daddy.
Yeah, look...
Okay. This is both cringy and disturbing as fuck.
I'm not going to try and get into the weeds with this one. I don't think there's been any serious attempts to ban contraceptives. I know there was a bill voted down by the Senate earlier this year that was like the Guarantee to Contraception Act or something like that. I'm not sure why it was voted down. I think contraception's a good thing. I'm just here for the cringe, daddy.
Okay, so how's everybody's nerves about this election?
Yeah, so obviously not an ad, but this election stuff's gonna be over soon. And there's so much unhinged shit. I thought I'd chuck some in this video, you know, before it's old and stale.
You know, let's say on a scale of 10 being can't think of anything else and may need some additional medication, I'm like at a 7.
She may need some additional medication.
May need some additional... Like what? You need a couple extra bars of Xanax? Jesus. The fuck year is it, dude? Looks like he fell out of 1988. Actually, contraception is a good idea. It stops unnecessary abortion legislation. Yeah, well... They need a worldwide unified party so we can name them appropriately. That Texas thing did affect other states. That Pornhub basically has an age verification thing that prevents you from using the site. Sorry. Pornhub has an age restriction thing. Oh, that it has an age verification thing that stops you from using the site unless you sign in. Oh.
I'd love to know what medication she's on now. And why is an election giving you so much grief? I mean, she's obviously a tightly wound person. You can see it in her face. Like, I bet when she sleeps, she holds her face like she's sucking a lemon. That's why she's got these wrinkles here. I mean, old people get wrinkles, but these wrinkles are lemon-sucking wrinkles.
Lemon-sucking wrinkles. I love it. I love it.
The most famous thing that Rosie O'Donnell ever did, in my view, was being roasted by Trump at that debate years ago.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm trying not to watch so much of the news now. I'm trying to recite that amazing prayer you do in Al-Anon and AA about, you know, the wisdom to know the difference between the things you can and cannot change.
Oh, of course, yes. Bring AA into it, yes.
And, you know, if you voted, if you donated, if you could, whatever you did, you participated, and now, you know, we got a week left to worry.
Oh my god, this woman's fucking depressing. Next.
I hate you, you fucking orange pumpkin. You just costed me one of the most important people in my life.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
It's fucking depressing. Next.
I hate you, you fucking orange pumpkin. You just costed me one of the most important people in my life.
Why does she sound like she's not only crying, but also slightly, special?
My dad.
Well, this is a lot more upbeat. Now, did she say nan or dad? I think she's deaf, the poor girl. And deaf people tend to say things like nad for dad. When I was about 7 years old, there was this kid in my class. He was a deaf kid, and yes, we gave him shit. I feel bad about it. We'd ask him every day, hey, Georgie, or whatever the fuck his name was. How
LMAO, I think she's deaf. That's what, yeah, that she might be.
old are you? And he'd go, 7. And we'd go, oh, how old were you last year? And he'd go, 6. And we thought that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, you guys are bastards.
Because we made him say dicks.
Donald Trump, I hate you. You will never be president again.
Sorry, but he will.
Trump, I hate you. You will never be president again. You bastard, you costed me my dad.
Oh, her dad. No, she's just crying. I don't think she's deaf. I think she's just crying.
Yeah, she's saying dad, and I really feel sorry for her. But come on, this is really, really unhinged. I mean, how many Republicans do you see saying, oh, Kamala, you're such a bitch. You cost me my relationship with this person who
No, yeah.
I really cared about. I've never seen it, have you? I mean, forget Republicans. How many normal people have you seen say that? Like people who aren't super far left.
Oh shit, that's Rosie. She's special. I feel sorry for Canada. Think of all these unhinged twats that wants to flee north. On the bright side, they won't go. No.
I hate you, you stupid, failed fucking businessman.
No, she's not deaf. No, she's not deaf. Very. She's crying. She's crying. No, she's not doing that. Go back and now that she's speaking more, she's not doing that.
She's just an atrocious, horrible person?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's crying and talking like this.
There's no tears.
Oh.
There's no tears.
Jesus Christ.
It's one of those. So she's cringe talking.
Yeah. That's why she sounded deaf, because she was cringe talking. Can you make me a tea? Please?
You stupid, failed fucking businessman. You fucking sicken me. You and all of your fucking Trump supporters.
No, if she's deaf, then she can still hear a little bit, because she's speaking too clearly to be totally deaf.
Yeah, you need to calm down, love. Maybe grow up a bit. You know, like get better friends. Your dad doesn't hate you. He's just got his own political opinions.
Yeah.
Just like I said, really, really sad. Next.
I deserve to get
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
Yeah, I am.
What the fuck?
Dude.
Yeah?
Like I said, really, really sad. Next.
I deserve to get
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing my dope-ass MAGA
Like
shoes.
I said, go back a
Yeah.
Wow. Go back a rapist. He's not a rapist.
Convicted for rape. It's
Not.
also illegal to film somebody in California.
Oh, what are you
without
well, what are
their
you gonna do
consent.
about it?
Nothing, you dumb c***.
The tolerant left, ladies and gentlemen.
Back a
Yes.
Yeah.
How
convicted
very
for rape.
tolerant.
It's also illegal to film somebody in California.
Oh, what are you
without
well, what are
their
you gonna do
consent.
about it?
Nothing, you dumb c***.
The tolerant left, ladies and gentlemen. The party of kindness.
So she bamboozled me? No, snot bubble doesn't count. No.
You deserve to get R-worded. And Trump has not been convicted of that. There was a civil court thing by that crazy bitch. We touched on that briefly in the last video.
Ugly bitch.
Wouldn't
You've
know.
definitely been raped, and you're okay with it.
You're so insane.
Isn't that insane? You've definitely been raped and you're okay with it. Wow! How lovely. How fantastically lovely that is.
You're so
I didn't say that
nuts.
you're filming a stranger.
Yeah, because you're literally saying you hope I get raped.
I hope you get what you deserve.
Wait, what do you hope?
That you get what you deserve.
What do I deserve? I mean, at least have the balls.
I have
What do you hope?
that you get what you deserve.
What do I deserve? I mean, at least have the balls.
I have the balls.
Yeah, I can tell.
Nah.
You seem very fucking normal.
Sneakers. That was over sneakers. I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy. I don't
It's
like
not
this
illegal in
political
California
candidate,
to
and you're
publicly
wearing
film.
his sneakers, so I hope you get r***ed. Fucking hell, that's just off tap. Yeah, so I don't really know what the context is here, but I understand the people doing the yelling are Kamala supporters, and that dad with the toddler in the stroller is a Republican or a Trump supporter. Can you imagine for a sec being a grown adult thinking, wow, I disagree with this man politically. What's the best course of action? I know. I will go up to his toddler and scream in her face.
I would legitimately be going to jail if somebody did that. I would be going to jail so fast if somebody did that to my kid. Because if somebody did that to my kids because I supported, like, Pierre Poilievre or whatever, I would, oh my god, I think I'd lose my shit.
Crazy stuff. Just insane. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to cover a few final things before the election. Good luck with everything, Americans. I hope it goes well. I hope there isn't like a civil war or something, but I'll be watching. It should be interesting. All right, thanks very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a civil fucking war. Absolutely there will be. I'd have punched a bitch. Yep. Literally screamed at the baby. Yeah, ugh. 1 foot from a 3-year-old girl's face. That would be like somebody complaining that I wore a poppy at work. That happened last weekend, and they got laughed at and were advised to leave the fireworks. Well, yeah. Even her own friends pushed her away like, bitch, the hell is wrong with you? Good. At least somebody in that group had some sense. Jesus, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. All right, I am going to quickly go to the bathroom. And then we'll come back and listen to Don't Walk Run's video. So let me be right back. Share the stream while I'm gone. And I will see you in a moment. Okay, we're back. We are back. And now, yet another hoax just dropped. This is from Don't Walk Run. Like I said, we're doing a lot of political stuff today because the election's tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see calls for no confidence this week in Canada. So let's take a look here at this fun video.
This is Donald J. Trump, the 45th and, God willing, 47th President of the United States. On October 31st, Trump was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and while talking about disastrous foreign policy, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney's name came up.
Uh-oh.
But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. And you know, number one, it's very dangerous. Number two, a lot of people get killed. And number three, I mean, it's very, very expensive. That's why we owe $36 trillion. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
That is not, he's not, and let me guess, they're gonna say that he wants to kill Liz Cheney once he's elected, right? Let me guess, that's what's gonna say?
You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy.
So what Trump is saying, and this is an objective analysis, that Liz Cheney is a war hawk.
And saying that they're all war hawks while they're sitting in Washington in nice buildings isn't wrong. It's not wrong at all. It's very, very true.
That she might feel differently about war if she had first-hand experience of war or combat. Pretty simple stuff, right? But, you know, if you're the dominant media, you're not allowed to show any objectivity towards the bad orange man.
Nope. Yeah, made it sound like he wanted to put her in front of the firing squad. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air, Donald Trump at a campaign event, imagining guns shooting at Liz Cheney. Tonight, Kamala Harris says this kind of violent rhetoric makes Trump unqualified to be president.
If there's one thing I know about Democrats, it's that they all love Cheney and George W. Bush. Yeah, what the fuck is with them defending Liz Cheney? I thought Cheney was like a big bad Republican man. And I thought the Cheneys were like supposed to be just these evil, evil family.
Just 4 days to go, and the tiny sliver of undecided voters in this country could decide this race. Tonight, Donald Trump at that campaign event, imagining guns shooting at Liz Cheney, suggesting guns should be trained at her face.
No, it's not.
Vice President Kamala
not.
Harris says the country needs to turn the page on all of this, saying violent rhetoric from Trump makes him unqualified to be president again.
Oh, come on. It's a little late for that, isn't it? It's a little late to say he's unqualified, don't you think?
You see what's happening there, right? David Muir of ABC News is painting Trump as a violent lunatic and praising Kamala Harris as the sane voice of reason, which is hilarious considering that just 1 week prior, Harris called Trump a fascist and everyone who attended his rallies as Nazis.
Yeah, she was like, and she even went as far as to say a general of his said that he was like Hitler.
Donald Trump took his violent rhetoric to a new extreme, suggesting the former Republican Congresswoman should be fired upon.
Saying, quote, war hawk Liz Cheney should be fired upon.
Former President
That's
Donald
not
Trump
what he
is
said.
escalating his violent
That's
rhetoric.
not a quote. You can't say quote and then misquote. If you say the word quote, that means you're inserting quotations around something. That means that's what they said. You can't do that.
Suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
Right now on ABC News.
No, he fucking didn't. Pedro, Jose, or Janae, whatever your fucking name is. Roll the tape. Exactly, right? That's not what he said.
Live, she should have guns trained on her face. 4 days to Election Day, and
No,
Donald Trump.
he said, let's see how she is when there are guns trained on her face.
Trump's rival Liz Cheney becomes the latest target of his violent rhetoric.
The reality is, you're talking about guns trained on a political opponent, regardless of the context.
Guns being trained on a political opponent's head.
Now, this latest comment about 9 barrels pointed at Liz Cheney is the latest escalation.
Let's see how she feels when the guns are trained on her face. Let's sit with that.
Yeah, that's more like what he said, but that's still not the full quote. That's still not the full context of what he said. He said, she's a war hawk. Now, and then let's see how she is. Let's put her in war and see how she likes it. Then let's train the guns on her.
So obviously, Donald Trump was taken out of context by
Very
design.
much so.
Because if you hear Trump wants to point guns at Liz Cheney's head, well, that's incredibly provocative. Most Americans would be and should be appalled by that kind of language.
Yeah.
That is, unless they heard the entire quote in context.
Donald Trump suggests putting Liz Cheney in the firing line.
Wait, did he suggest it or did he outright say it?
Donald Trump declaring before a crowd that Cheney should be put before a firing line.
But did he said, like, they're going back and forth here on whether he suggested it or whether he outright said it.
I mean, that's more definitive, but now it's less accurate.
The former president saying that he would like to see guns aimed at Liz Cheney's face.
Trump never said, I would like to see guns aimed at her face.
No.
It's one thing to take Trump out of context.
That's not what he said.
It's another to lie about the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Trump invoked violence on Liz Cheney after saying,
oh, he did,
let's
did he?
put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. You just can't make this up.
Well, you are making it up. You're taking it out of context. And therefore making it up. And I quote, the internet is for kittens, Abraham Lincoln. He knows what it's been like to have been in these situations, so maybe he's just saying, all the TV media misquoted everything. Yep.
Yeah, you can. I mean, Trump wasn't invoking violence, but Kira Phillips, made it up. Now look, I'm no stranger to criticizing Donald Trump. If he actually called for violence against someone, I would be among the first to call him out.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be making excuses for it.
Donald Trump taking on Liz Cheney, telling his supporters that she should be shot.
He directly said what he thinks should happen to Liz Cheney just because she disagrees with it.
He has suggested that she should be shot.
Explicitly violent about a woman in public life.
About a woman! Here it goes. It took to the 5-minute mark to get to the she's a woman. She's a woman in public life, and he said this about
Just
her.
Unimaginably violent and loaded comments about Liz Cheney.
Openly fantasizing about violent retribution against one of his political opponents.
Well, clearly he was saying that she should be shot.
Are you angry yet? Well, you should be, because these are some of the most blatant examples of media bias that I've ever seen. But in all fairness, there was the rare instance where it was reported accurately, including by Peter Alexander of NBC News.
Holy shit.
Trump in Arizona went after Cheney, arguing she would not favor war if she was sent to the front lines.
Again, I applaud Peter Alexander for telling the truth here.
That's better. That's exactly what he said. I wonder how she'd feel about war if she was in war. Context, schmontext, nuances for fascists.
As for the rest of NBC News, not so much.
violent threats. Donald Trump suggests sending Liz Cheney to war and says she should have guns trained on her face.
See, now you should have just stopped at that he said Liz Cheney should be sent to war, because that's more accurate.
So now Trump is violently threatening to send Cheney to war. Yeah, sure.
Graphic rhetoric once again overtaking the campaign trail. Former President Trump going after Liz Cheney, saying she wouldn't be a war hawk if, quote, guns are trained on her face. During an event in Arizona last evening in which he said his foe, former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, would not be such a war hawk if she had, quote, guns trained on her face. Mr. Trump saying, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her.
Yeah, that's what he said. That doesn't mean he thinks she should be in front of a firing squad. That means that he thinks that she would stop pushing for war so much if she had a taste of it.
Trump today saying he was only pointing out that Cheney hasn't had to face the consequences of war. But given the dark imagery of his words last night, it makes you wonder if those same words were spoken by a 14-year-old online or in a classroom or by a coworker in the workplace. Would alarm bells be sounding tonight?
No. No, because that's true. If you wouldn't push for war so much if you actually had a taste of war. Openly fantasizing. Tell me on your concept of violent rhetoric, you say the orange man touched you. That's too funny.
And as if it couldn't get any worse, we now have nightly news anchors pontificating. You don't hate the media enough, America. Now, taking Trump out of context, well, that's nothing new.
No.
The bloodbath hoax, the dictator on day one hoax, the fine people on both sides hoax. At this point, it's expected. But this one is comparatively different. It's fear-mongering at its worst.
It really is. It's playing on the fears of everybody who genuinely are concerned about there being a war. It's playing on the fears of people that are concerned about overreach of government. It is absolutely fear-mongering.
Now you have this threat against Liz Cheney that Trump is talking about a firing squad.
He basically called for executing Liz Cheney, his political rival, saying to stand her up in front of a firing squad.
He actually suggested that Liz Cheney should face a firing squad.
Trump was suggesting a firing squad.
Suggesting that we'll put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad.
But Trump said, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her.
Yeah.
You don't give someone who is supposed to be executed by firing squad a rifle.
No, you don't give them a weapon too. You idiots. You don't do that.
But you know, if you're a Democrat with an agenda, logic goes right out the window.
Yeah.
Kill with a firing squad
That's not
his
what he
political
said.
opponents, including a political opponent in his own party.
He's talking
It's not what he said. Holy shit.
about a firing squad for his political enemies.
You have Donald Trump, who's talking about sending a prominent Republican to the firing squad.
Liz Cheney needs to be in a firing squad with 9 barrels shooting at her.
Talking
What's a
about
squad?
firing squad for a fellow Republican, fellow American, out of bounds of the norms.
Sorry,
Donald Trump talking about a firing squad for Liz Cheney.
Well, when he says 9 barrels shooting at her, that obviously evokes images of a firing squad.
No, be honest. For you crazy Democrats, it invokes images of an evil gun with 9 barrels. Admit it.
It evokes images of an execution, does it not?
No, Jim Acosta. No, it doesn't. Well, not to normal people anyway. Anyway, to no one's surprise, Drudge Report took the incident,
just a quote, it's now explicit. Yep.
turned it up to 11 by saying that Trump calls for Cheney's execution. And everyone went along with it.
Trump calls for Cheney execution. Yeah. And he says that she should have 9 guns trained at her face.
I don't think you even need to call it fire department. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be
No, he's not. Oh my lord. You people are retarded.
executed by firing squad.
Firing squad's an execution.
Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her.
Isn't he evoking images of a firing squad, of an assassination?
Exactly who and how might Donald Trump want to execute
He's no longer a Republican, by
if
the
he
way.
becomes president? Who does he want to kill if he becomes president?
News about
He
that
said
was
he's going to
5 months
shoot
ago.
Liz Cheney. I mean, you know, let's shoot Liz Cheney.
Sounds like to me he just thought she needed to die.
Washed-up Democrats like former Senator Claire McCaskill are the first to scream about misinformation and disinformation. But at the same time, they're always the first to spread it.
Yeah. It's the same people who claim that those misinformation laws are there to protect people from misinformation. Meanwhile, they're there to keep you from talking about the government and its bad policies.
That soundbite a moment ago from Donald Trump talking about training guns on the face of Liz Cheney. The Trump campaign says that was about foreign policy. Well, we just played it for our viewers and listeners who heard it. Isn't it possible to make the case without using rhetoric like that?
But Donald Trump doesn't talk like someone who's been in Washington for 30 years.
No.
He doesn't
Training
say it the
guns
way I
on her
would have said it.
face?
No, but that's not what he said. Margaret, you guys know that. Come on. I mean, everybody knows exactly what he was saying. What he was saying is, you're so much in favor of war. Yeah, you played a piece of the soundbite because...
you played a chunk of the soundbite. You didn't play the whole thing.
Another piece of it, he said he would give her a gun to go stand in conflict as well. You don't normally give a gun to someone that's going to be facing a firing squad, which is what much of the media made it sound like. But I think it's truly not just unfair, it's egregious to see that reported the way that it was, along with other things that are out there. I've never seen such a concerted effort. Look, I've always believed there's bias because no one's unbiased, but I've never seen such a concerted effort like what I've seen, especially in the last 2 weeks, among multiple media outlets in this country, to, in some cases, breathlessly distort and lie about what's being said and to create and manufacture these gotcha moments against Donald Trump. I've never seen it before.
And here to prove Senator...
Listen to her scoffing. She was so upset about that. That's funny.
Rubio's point is the former senior advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris.
Apparently, my conservative media friends and conservative folks are saying that the media writ large, the liberal media, has taken Donald Trump's comments out of context yet again when it relates to Liz Cheney, as though Donald Trump has not regularly talked about, you know, turning the levers of the investigative powers of the Department of Justice onto his enemies, as though he has not amplified things like a firing squad and military tribunals.
So Simone Sanders says that conservatives are overreacting to the liberal media's coverage of Trump's Liz Cheney comments, but then seconds later claims that Trump called for Cheney to be placed in front of a firing squad and a military tribunal, which he never said.
No, he did not. He did not say anything about a military tribunal. That's a bunch of bullshit. That is truly a bunch of absolute nonsense. Oh my goodness. We are getting to our question period now, guys. This is gonna get interesting. Because I would like to play for you Melissa Lantsman's speech about why there needs to be no confidence, and this is why I'm really hoping that she continues to be the deputy shadow cabinet and the deputy prime minister when Polyev becomes prime minister. Because she is just amazing. And then we're going to skip ahead to question period. But I would like to just show you guys this speech. I am going to put it on the You Are Not Alone screen for a moment and get myself a cough drop. But just listen to this.
Incompetents are just too much to handle. At least 24 of them, at least 24 that we know of, have finally seen the light, demanding a change. Because the writing is on the wall. They feel it in their own constituencies with people that used to be excited to see them. They are fed up with everything that this prime minister has become, everything that he has become that he said that he wouldn't do. They see record high inflation and home prices. They see out of control government spending. They just see how out of reach life has become in Canada. They, like all of us, like almost every Canadian, have lost confidence in this prime minister. And really, Mr. Speaker, who can blame them? It's now evident that they'll do anything to stay in power. Even a humiliating U-turn that we saw last week on immigration when they set these sky-high targets and then had to reverse themselves. Even throwing around unfounded conspiratorial accusations like you just heard from questioning right before me, the leader of the opposition and foreign governments. The
thing about the foreign government and the thing about abortion, saying that Pierre Poilievre will even touch female reproductive rights.
The tinfoil hats over there must be real tight. Even turning the trite and frankly ridiculous fear-mongering about individual rights, things like abortion in this country that every Canadian now sees through. It's the same old strategy, Madam Speaker. Divide and conquer. Divide this country into smaller and smaller pieces so it's easier to keep a grip on power and make sure that everybody forgets how miserable this Prime Minister has made their life. Canadians are tired of this. They're tired of the division, and they're tired of being labeled as some kind of other. They're tired of being told that north is south and up is down and wrong is right. And certainly they are tired of a government that cares more about itself than Canadians.
She's not wrong.
That's what this whole saga is about. It's not just Canadians.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a good spot.
It's not just the Prime Minister who's not in for
drop.
Canadians. He's in it for himself and for his friends. As long as he has to cling to the job for a bit longer, to ship some more money off to liberal insiders, he'll do whatever it takes to stay in power, and they will do whatever it takes to argue in this place, not to do their duty and hand.
She almost said not to do their fucking job.
Over the documents to the RCMP like the Speaker ordered them to. Look at everything happening outside of this place. Violent crime is up 30%. Crimes and crimes with firearms have doubled in this country since the Prime Minister came to power. Legal drugs on our streets, loved ones who can't get the help that they need. Car theft in my home region of York region is up 300% in just 3 years. And there are members of the Liberal caucus who are celebrating an hourly drop in auto theft patterns. And they're patting themselves on the back for it. You don't need to celebrate a 20% decrease in auto theft when it increased 300% under your watch.
Yeah, that's not anything to celebrate. That's like going, hey, that bank has only been robbed 6 out of 7 days this week. We must be doing a good job at policing.
That's not success. It is a victory lap on failure.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what they are doing. The average home price in that same region is $1.3 million, a runaway deficit spending from a finance minister who still misses her targets. Canadians already struggling to make ends meet and afford a place to live are staring down the barrel of even more tax hikes and price increases. And we see it day after day, month after month, year after year, after 9 years of these guys. What we just found out is platforms like Spotify are raising subscription fees. The finance minister already told everybody in this house and every Canadian that she would cut Disney Plus, and I guess she's going to have to tell them to cut Spotify too. That's the latest of the tone-deaf, condescending suggestions from a finance minister.
Yeah, Just cut your streaming services. You don't have anything to listen to when you get home. No TV, no music. No nothing. Just cut it all, then you'll be able to afford living.
Who has somebody else pulling the strings at her own department. That's not to mention the serious allegation of election interference from foreign states and the Prime Minister's dangerous complicity in it. Or the instability and the insanity happening on the other side of the world in the Middle East, or the out-of-control anti-Semitism on our streets. And we can't talk about any of that in this place. We can't fix any of those things because the government is focused on running out the clock while they try to cover up for their own mismanagement, their own scandal-ridden government. That's what this debate is about. It's about making sure that we no longer let this Prime Minister use his office as a platform to enrich his friends and his own self-interest at the taxpayer extent.
I really like her. This is like, she is a good speaker. She says what she says what she means. She's enunciating very, very well. She's doing a great job.
Expense.
She's a great speech.
There's an easy fix to all of this, and it can happen in mere minutes. The government just needs to release the documents. Give them to the cops. All of them. That's all. We can put this to bed today. Not at a committee, not in its redacted form, just the full documents.
Just the facts, ma'am.
If they truly had nothing to hide, then they shouldn't be scared of anything. They certainly shouldn't be scared of turning those documents over. There's no reason why that release cannot happen except for this own government's own obstinance in this place. And you can tell by the...
Is she Deputy Shadow Leader? She seems to fly under the radar. Does she have a shield? Yes, she is the Deputy Shadow Leader. Oh, she destroys Chrystia Freeland on multiple occasions.
Arguments that they're making, that they are desperate to avoid accountability. Blathering on about their endless nonsense about the charter, which they have used to trample on the rights of Canadians when it suits them. Blathering on about committees so that it dies, this issue dies a slow death under the guise of transparency, and so on and so on. Madam Speaker, I will say this, the Charter was created to protect Canadians from their government.
Yep. She's not wrong.
It was not created to protect this government from Canadians, this government from accountability, these Liberals from the people that actually voted them in here. And equally...
Behind every great man is a great woman. She is good. She is good.
If there are allegations and there is wrongdoing, you don't call a committee.
No.
You call the RCMP, the people with the power to prosecute the corruption and get Canadians their money back. Get every single Canadian their taxpayers and get every single Canadian the accountability to see what their government is doing with their money. That is the least that they can do in this place now after a month of arguing this motion. That's what's come after 9 years of this Liberal government. We need the Mounties to now come in and sort things out because the Prime Minister is obviously not able to sort things out by himself, or that more likely that he's covering up something.
Yeah. More likely he doesn't want to sort it out.
He's out of his depth on this in every single way. Like when it comes to representing Canada on the world stage, he allows the nation to be humiliated and embarrassed time and time and again, whether it's a stirring rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody or allowing our country to become a playground for hostile foreign governments, or when it comes to managing our economy. It's a shocker. It is a shocker that the guy who says that the economy grows out from the heart believes that the budget will balance itself and doesn't think about monetary policy and couldn't grow the economy, balance the budget, control inflation rates or interest rates in any way.
Nope.
Not just for this generation, but for generations to come.
Yeah, we are going to be paying off this debt for a long time. This is gonna be insane. This is gonna be generational.
Or even when it comes to just doing basic things. His government couldn't even make a simple app work.
Nope.
It took them months. And they sent 10,000 people inadvertently, unjustified, to a quarantine. That app should have never existed, didn't need it. It could have been built in a weekend if we needed it at all. And certainly there's corruption in that case itself. And it is no wonder that his caucus and his party are revolting against the Prime Minister. Even in former fortresses like downtown Montreal and downtown Toronto, where they've just repudiated 9 years of this Prime Minister by electing members from other parties. But one thing the Prime Minister excels at, and we should give him some credit, he excels at shipping off other people's money to line the pockets of liberal insiders. Pet projects, money to massive corporations, while Canadians go hungry and lose sight of the country that we all once knew and loved.
God,
$12 million
she's
to
great.
Loblaws, $26 million to Costco, over $100 million to McKinsey, $107 million
Christ.
to GC Strategy. That's the two-person company that's run out of a basement in Ottawa. $900 million to the Wheat Charity, $50 million to MasterCard, billions of dollars of bloated bureaucracies like to Bombardier, and of course, to the CBC.
This is nuts. Like when you hear it, when you hear it broken down like that, it is just insane how we've allowed this to happen.
And no one can forgive or forget the $100 million that the government has shipped to UNRWA, an agency founded to employ terrorists and participated in the October 7th massacre, and is now trying to argue that it is legally immune from being responsible in doing so. And again, while Canadians go dumpster diving because they can't afford the price of food, Mr. Speaker, we will put an end to all of this. We will put an end to the corporate welfare that lines the pockets of liberal insiders doing nothing to create jobs or prosperity in this country. We will immediately stop funding UNRWA and start funding our own NATO allies instead. And we will
It sounds so familiar, but not the correct country.
Of course. We will, of course, defund the CBC. They're like without question. But on maybe the CBC first. Simply put, we will give Canadians back control of their money, of their wallets, of their lives, something that this government has refused to do time and time again. It is why we are here after almost a month of arguing, why this government will not turn over documents that you yourself, Mr. Speaker, have told them to turn over.
Oh, they switched.
Why they will cower from accountability for the people, for their taxpayers to know where their money went, who it enriched, what's in those documents. Mr. Speaker, if they had nothing to hide, they would turn these documents over today. They would turn them over today, and we can end this, and we can get back to Parliament and fix the things that they have broken in this country after 9 years. Cut taxes, build homes, fix the budget, stop crime. There is any number of issues that they have screwed up over 9 years, and we can get back to business if they just turned over those documents to the RCMP exactly like you told them to.
More! Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead to oral questions.
Honorable member for just his rules. Thank you.
But that was Melissa Lanceman. That's the deputy leader.
Is working to develop government. Food before I move. Release their hunger count record due to car for children up to.
He was formally and is
clear about what's at stake.
So yeah, that was the that was the deputy leader of the Conservative Party. I'd vote for her, but I'm not an illegal. Well, she's in Toronto.
Leader will reverse Canada's housing program. The Conservatives
Oh, Where's the oral questions?
Member from Hastings.
The show.
Making that the month.
The country. This by to celebrate him, witness these their unity.
Questions. Questions orales. Oral questions. Questions orales. The honorable member from Regina Capel.
Oh, Polyeva's out doing some work, I see. But that doesn't mean it won't be crazy. Because he's a front bencher. So...
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister's economic vandalism, over 2 million Canadians are visiting a food bank in a single month. Housing costs have doubled, and inflation continues to eat away at Canadians' paychecks. His massive deficits and tax hikes are causing extreme damage to the Canadian economy. For 8 out of the last 9 quarters, Canadian per-person GDP is down. This is a made-in-Canada, per-person GDP recession. That means Canadian workers work harder, but bring home less.
Yep.
So will the Prime Minister stop his economic vandalism and cancel his job-killing, paycheck-shrinking tax hikes?
Yeah. Let me guess. Christian Freeland's gonna answer.
The Honorable Minister for Indigenous Services.
Oh, what the fuck? Why is the Minister for Indigenous Services answering?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning we heard the sad news of the passing of the Honourable Murray Sinclair. Let me take a moment before we begin today to say a few words about him. As a former judge, senator, and chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, Murray was determined to help Canada reckon with its colonial realities and bring healing to this country.
Is this
he
how
was a
we're
visionary
starting to
and a
answer
leader,
questions
and his
today,
kind and
there,
fierce
Liberal
commitment
Party?
to truth has pushed Canada forward in profound and lasting ways. Our hearts and minds are with his family, and Canada is a much better place for his service.
Pull that out, Andrew Scheer. Pull that out.
The Honourable Member from Regina Capel.
I join in my honourable colleagues' sending of condolences, but we are witnessing economic vandalism in real time.
Yeah, that was very nice, and I'm also very sorry for the passing of this person, but hello.
Last Thursday, this government was briefed that the only sector of the Canadian economy actually producing any growth was the energy sector. And what did they do today?
Economic
they slapped a punishing cap on Canadian production.
vandalism is a new one. Nice, too.
All this will do is chase investments and jobs to other countries. But that's something this Prime Minister is good at.
Hello.
He's increased Canadian investment into the U.S. by $63 billion last year alone. So will the Prime Minister stop fueling the U.S. economy, cancel his tax hikes, and cancel the production cap to bring those investment dollars back home?
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
I love how nobody that has anything to do with these questions is now standing up and answering.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we were very pleased to announce an emissions cap with respect to the oil and gas sector in this country.
Oh, yay.
Given that oil and gas constitutes 31% of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions, it is important that we work with the sector to reduce emissions, just as we do with every sector. It is also true that as we move towards a lower carbon economy across the world, oil and gas produced with the lowest emissions is actually going to have value around the world. We are moving forward with a plan to address climate change and build a strong economy going forward. They are stuck in the past and ignoring the science of climate.
Before I get to the Honourable Member, I'm just going to ask the Honourable Member from Calgary Centre, please, to hold on until his question is turned to ask a question. The Honourable Member from Regina Capel.
All this production cap will do is make other countries richer while making Canadians poorer.
Yep.
But that's something this Prime Minister is so good at. Consider this, GDP per capita in Canada, down. In the U.S., it's up. 9 years ago, average wages in the U.S. and Canada were almost identical.
The dollar was almost identical, too. I know that for a fact. Now it's $1 US is like $1.40 Canadian.
An American worker brings home $22,000 more than their Canadian counterpart. And $500 billion in investments has fled Canada to the United States, creating bigger paychecks for American workers.
In relation to an inclement question, the Minister for Arts and Native Culture, right? Is the cap going to fall off?
all because of this Prime Minister's high taxes and massive deficits. The Prime Minister is the #1 job creator in the United States. So instead of helping the Canadian economy, why not fight for Canada for once?
Do you mean instead of
The
helping
Honourable
the American
Minister for the
economy?
Environment and Climate Change.
Mr. Speaker, maybe the member opposite should take the time to actually read the information about the pollution cap.
Take the time to
Production
read
is
the
forecast to increase
information.
16% by 2030, Mr. Speaker. So this idea that we're somehow cutting production is simply not true.
Really?
The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable. After 9 years of this Prime Minister, supported by the Bloc, $500 million has left Canada for the U.S. The Conservatives will bring investment and jobs back to Canada. This Prime Minister's high taxes and deficits have helped the U.S. prosper while Canadians are desperately trying to house and feed themselves. A U.S. worker now earns $22,000 more than his Canadian counterpart. Will the Prime Minister keep abdicating his responsibilities?
Yes.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister
there
of Finance.
she is.
Mr. Speaker.
I love how the
I'm
translator even goes, Mr. Speaker.
a patriotic Canadian woman, and I believe that we live in a wonderful country. I wouldn't want to be American. But if the Conservatives want to compare...
I don't want to be an
Well, this is what should be
American.
compared. Inflation is lower in Canada. The prime lending rate is lower in Canada. Life, the average Canadian's life...
Lots of hockey references. I'm still surprised USA dollars are still worth so much compared to Canada and Britain. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to make an AI song about Mr. Speaker and the angry Frenchman. Oh, the Minister of Innovation? The one who talks like this, Mr. Speaker, and yells all the time, Mr. Speaker, and always says Mr. Speaker all the time, Mr. Speaker.
Lifespan is 4 years longer, so the Conservatives keep thinking the U.S. is better than Canada.
That's not what they're saying.
The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. What's worse is after 9 years of this Prime Minister, three different U.S. presidents, this government has been incapable of producing wealth in Canada. The gap
this is fun.
between
I can
wealth...
feel my pulse beat in my head. Whee! This is super fun.
...is growing, whether it's the softwood lumber or the Buy American Act. This Prime Minister has failed miserably to protect Canadian workers. He's creating more jobs. He's the #1 job creator in the U.S. When will the Prime Minister stand up for Canada, cut taxes, and bring our money and our jobs and our investments back to Canada?
That's a never, Ghost
The Honourable
Rider.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, once again, here's what we do better in Canada. Inflation is lower. The
We're
prime lending
better
rate
than
is
America.
lower. The average lifespan is longer. I will quote from David Rosenberg, a well-known economist. He
Why
said,
does she keep saying the same things over and over again? Like that's gonna make them true. I don't understand.
that last week, investors based in the U.S. should contemplate leaving New York for Toronto, and that's because he knows that
It's cheaper to
Canadian
invest here
companies
right
are
now?
doing better. Who better to quote, Mr. Speaker?
Député de La Prairie.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie. On the eve of the U.S. elections, Peter Harder and other senators must not be blocking our bill to protect supply management in free
no
trade
shit.
deals, because we know that the U.S. wants to reopen the trade deal. This is not just harmful, it's dangerous because it will cause hundreds of thousands of job losses in Quebec. Will the Prime Minister stop threatening Quebec's farmers? The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, being a farmer all my life and then being involved in the supply management system for all my agricultural career,
Oh my God,
I am
this
fully
guy is
aware
so old.
of how valuable the supply management system is to this country.
And he can't even speak French. That's crazy.
And I belong to a government and a party that has initiated supply management and continue to support supply management. And I can tell my honourable colleague in this country that this government will continue to support the supply management program.
Does he have any teeth? Sounds like he doesn't have any teeth. He sounds like he goes continue because he doesn't have any teeth.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie. The next U.S. president could open up NAFTA or the free trade deal in 2026. And the
angry Frenchman is angry. I can hear him yelling over the translator.
Depending who wins, it could be our supply management system that pays the price. So our farmers would like to hear their will respected. They don't want two unelected senators to hold up a bill to protect supply management. Will the Prime Minister stop those two senators from preventing C-282 from passing? The Honourable Minister of National Revenue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've already explained to our Bloc friends that senators are independent.
Except for these two, apparently.
And the other thing is that the Bloc admits that they can't protect supply management. The only people who can, because we truly want to and we're committed to doing so, is us. Whatever happens on the other...
Because we truly want to. This is you wanting to do stuff. What happens when you don't want to?
Side of the U.S. border, only a Liberal government will protect supply management here.
The Honourable Member from Burnaby South.
In Canada, we believe healthcare should be there when you need it and it should be free. Today, Collège des médecins du Québec président was quoted saying that patients are typically told, I can do your surgery in 14 months. If you come to my private clinic, I can get it done in 1 month. It'll cost you $25,000. Dr. Gourdeau says that's questionable, if not illegal. I think it's pretty clearly illegal. Does the Prime Minister agree?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Public, universal, available for all, and most of all, making sure that the patient doesn't pay.
We don't have universal health care. We have... I hate when people do say stupid things like that. Public, universal for all health care.
We ensure in our
No, it's not universal for all. If you don't have a health card, you're not getting free health care.
country that when people come in for care, that they're taken care of on the basis of their need, not the size of their bank account. That's what distinguishes us from so many countries in the world. That is a principle that we stand up proudly for. I would suggest to the leader of the NDP, we've worked well together on things from pharmacare to dental care. There are many different challenges the provinces are presenting to healthcare right now, and certainly this party opposite, the Conservatives that would seek to ravage our healthcare system, let's work together to make sure we
ravage the healthcare system. Oh my.
L'honorable député de Burnaby Sud.
The Liberals are letting people get charged to get to the front of the line. That should be illegal. Au Québec, le
In Quebec, the private sector is taking up more and more of a role in healthcare. The Quebec College of Physicians and Surgeons is calling for this trend to be dealt with as quickly as possible.
Well, then talk to the Quebec government. This is a provincial problem.
People who seek profit are causing longer delay times for healthcare. Why is the Prime Minister allowing U.S.-style companies to take advantage of Canadians suffering? The Honourable Minister of Health. Mr. Speaker, that's what's absolutely clear is that it's our government's priority to ensure that our healthcare system is universal and entirely public and available to all Canadians.
Universal and entirely public. Dude, we are not Britain. We are not Britain, and the NHS is not doing very well.
We've made a lot of headway.
And there are still private clinics in Britain.
Dental care and
So,
pharmacare. But I think
even
there's
they
a
don't
lot of
have
work
strictly public
that can
health
still
care.
be done, that should still be done. But on the other side, the Conservative Party wants to cut. They want to make huge cuts to funding for health care, and that's totally unacceptable, Mr. Speaker.
Orange Turban, happy
The honourable
Diwali.
member
Yep.
from Dufferin-Caledon.
After 9 years of these NDP Liberals, almost 50% of young Canadians believe they will never own a home. This Liberal
That's
housing
true.
accelerator is an absolute joke. Common sense Conservatives have a plan. They're going to axe the GST on new home builds. On an $800,000 house, this will save $40,000. Wow. And the Conservative leader has now written to the premiers of every province asking them to match this tax cut.
That would be awesome. Could you imagine provincial sales tax being taken off of home builds under $1 million?
When will these NDP
Or
Liberals
HST or
finally get
whatever,
it through their
harmonise?
heads? They're funding bureaucracies, axe the tax on new builds so young people can buy a house.
The honourable parliament.
I have no teeth. I am on a ODSP and got it done without having to pay. Exactly. Exactly, Michael. You got provincial dental care. It shouldn't be a what's it called? It should be a federal thing. It should not be a federal thing.
Secretary to the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
He says the Housing Accelerator Fund is a joke, Mr. Speaker. Has he consulted with his caucus? A dozen, probably more, Conservative members have advocated specifically for that program. They went behind the back of the Leader of the Opposition because they wanted to advocate for their constituents to see more homes built. By calling for the end of the Housing Accelerator Fund, which is how they would pay for this new, bold idea, so-called, they would end support...
It's a stupid idea, says somebody next to this dude. Oh, really? You think that taking the GST off of new home builds is a stupid idea? Tell me how you really
for more
feel
building
about it.
for middle-class Canadians. Mr. Speaker, it's an unacceptable, untenable position.
Well said.
And we've always had a public/private system. And despite popular misconception, it has been running NHS into the ground. The major waste is inclusion and middle management. India has fully government-funded healthcare, and you see how advanced they are. It is genetic. Mom had it done at 50. Oh. Yeah, I have, what's it called? I have, like, a problem with plaque. My teeth always get really plaquey.
The honourable member from Dufferin-Caledon.
Oh man, here's what Liberal housing advisor Mike P. Moffat said about the Liberal housing accelerator. Can anyone in the federal government tell me why Toronto deserves $471 million in housing accelerator funds to massively hike development taxes? And housing starts in Toronto are down 20%. Even Liberal advisors know the housing accelerator's a joke. Will these NDP Liberals finally realize they're funding bureaucracies, tripling development charges, and not getting any houses built for young Canadians?
Nope, they don't care.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Young Canadians, he talks about home building in Canada, Mr. Speaker. They have 6 homes to point to when they were in office.
No, they have 6 socialized housing units, like 6 subsidized housing units to point to. They have 195,000 overall homes.
That's the sum total of their work when they were in office, when the Leader of the Opposition held the so-called role of Minister of Housing. He wasn't a minister at all, Mr. Speaker. In fact, if you look at the 190,000 number that they talk about during their time in office, that was home builders who did that, Mr. Speaker. It was not them. They know nothing about getting homes built. They know only about cuts. They would only make cuts to communities. It's not an acceptable position, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Parry Sound, Muskoka.
Oh, from cottage country, eh?
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal government, we know they're not worth the cost of housing. So bad is their record, in fact, that 80% of young Canadians believe that home ownership is only for the very rich.
My glands
Conservatives
are
will
all
axe the
swollen.
federal sales tax on new homes sold under $1 million, saving Canadians up to $50,000 or $2,200 a year in mortgage payments. The Conservative leader has written premiers asking them to match our Conservative plan to axe the tax on housing, saving Canadians thousands more.
Yep.
This means real relief for young Canadians desperately trying to buy a home. Will the NDP Liberals axe the tax on housing so young Canadians can finally buy a home?
No.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing.
Mr. Speaker, I worked with the honourable member on the House of Commons committee that's responsible for housing. He almost always brings up good points, except today there's a credibility issue at stake, Mr. Speaker. When he was mayor of Huntsville, prior to becoming member of Parliament, he increased development charges, which we agree are an impediment to home building. They are a tax on home building. How much did he increase development charges, Mr. Speaker? Not by 2 or 3%, Mr. Speaker, but by 16%, Mr. Speaker.
Oh,
They can't speak about these issues. They have no credibility on the matter.
Order.
Children.
The honourable member from Parry Sound, Muskoka.
Well, Mr. Speaker, when I was on council, we actually cut development charges by 50%, and I also knew as a mayor that if you get bureaucracy out of the way, you get more homes built. These guys don't understand that, though. All they're doing is funding the bureaucracy. Since this minister has given billions of dollars to cities all across this country, they've raised development charges and housing starts have dropped.
Yeah, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, they all got money and all the housing starts in all those cities dropped.
Our common sense plan will save Canadians up to $50,000 on a new home. This is real relief for Canadians. So why can't they get on board and axe the tax on new homes?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, like former Conservatives, people like Joe Clark, for example, I recognize that Canada is a community of communities. And as an urban-based
Did
MP,
you
I
just
want to
call
assure the
on Joe Clark? Did you just...
Mr. Speaker, like former Conservatives, people like Joe Clark, for example, I recognize that Canada is a community of communities. And as an urban-based MP, I want to assure the honourable member opposite that I read the Huntsville Doppler, the newspaper of record in this community.
Oh, good for you. You read the news. You read the newspaper of record in the guy's country. No, you don't. I don't believe that for a second.
Increased development charges by 16%. It was reported time and again in that newspaper, Mr. Speaker. They want to cut support for communities. They want to cut support for housing. Don't be fooled. The Leader of the Opposition ditched it.
I think a 10 British pounds flight to France and return home in a dinghy. That way I get home free tech and I get and then I get dental implants. Opposed to spending 2,000 British pounds per tooth. Ouch. Ooh, you had steak last night. Nice.
His glasses, same guy that wants to cut pensions, support for housing, support for young people, support for EI. They're not serious, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député de Bellechasse.
The honourable member for Bellechasse-les-Etchemins-Lévis. Mr. Speaker, after 9 years, the Bloc Liberal Coalition has discouraged young people from owning their own home. They've doubled rents, mortgage payments, and down payments. As we speak, 80% of Canadians think home ownership is only for the very rich. Our leader has tabled a common-sense proposal, cut the GST on new homes. This idea has the support of CORPIC, the Quebec Residential Rental Properties Owners Association. Will the Bloc-backed Liberals scrap the federal tax on housing, or will they keep on funding their own programs that don't build any houses?
Of course they won't.
The Honourable
They won't,
Minister
refund it, or stop it.
for the Economic Development Agency. Mr. Speaker,
Yep.
my colleague's proposal is completely ill thought out. because
really?
not only does it not
Cutting
deal
the
with
tax on
any
new home
increase in the
builds is
supply of
ill thought
housing,
out.
it also comes at the expense of the poorest. Their agenda is clear now. They want to help people who want to buy, but
How
cut
would it?
back
How
for
would
people
it
in need.
affect the poorest negatively if they want to get rid of the tax on homes under $1 million?
I'd like to know from my colleague the housing in her own riding. How is she going to explain to her constituents that she would cut and put in danger the rents of the people who need that housing? The honourable member for Bellechasse-les-Etchemins-Lévis.
I got the heat fixed. Now it's too hot inside. Can't win apparently. Ugh.
She can ask questions when she's in opposition. Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader's proposal to scrap the GST on houses under $1 million would give young people the hope of being able to buy a home and maybe start a family. With this GST cut, some 30,000 new homes could be built. For an $800,000 home, for example, the GST savings would be $40,000. What's keeping this Liberal bloc government from showing a little compassion and common sense by going ahead with our proposal?
The fact that you guys came up with it and they're so ideologically driven that they can't take your ideas and use them.
The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 3 things. First of all, and my colleague knows this, the Conservative leader was responsible for the construction of only 6 housing units during his entire term.
Yes, 6
Last
social subsidized housing units.
An agreement was what the Conservatives would do would be cutting a deal that has led to the building of thousands of units in Quebec, including units for seniors in need in the members' riding. That's the type of thing the Conservatives would like to cut. The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Quebec is still taking in more than its fair share of asylum seekers. And this is serious. There's still no plan for redistributing them among the other provinces. Immigration could skyrocket with tomorrow's U.S. election, and Donald Trump has said if he wins, he'll launch the largest deportation program in U.S. history. He wants to deport 18 million people. We asked the minister if he had a plan in case Trump's promises drive people into Canada, and he said yes. That's great. Now, can he explain that plan, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Minister of Immigration.
That's not happening.
The member knows full well that for a number of months we've been reducing the number of asylum seekers arriving by 29% in Quebec. And this is the type of thing we can do by working together with Quebec in order to have a well-managed border with the U.S. And we will continue to do that regardless of who's the president tomorrow. But it's maybe premature to be talking about that. The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, to govern is to plan, and the Immigration Department has proven at every conceivable opportunity that they're not very good at it. So we're going to keep asking the Minister for details of this plan, because without details, there's no good reason to believe it even exists. Tomorrow, if Trump wins, he's promised to deport 18 million people. Our organizations tell us if they're worried about a wave of...
He's not going to deport 18 million people. Oh, my God. Everyone's like, what's going to happen when Trump deports all the immigrants up to Canada? Yes, that's where he's going to send them.
Already unable to manage the current influx of asylum seekers. Well, what's coming? What's the plan if that happens? The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Mr. Speaker, there is a plan, but I'm not going to tell him about it 24 hours before an election. That would be very imprudent, very irresponsible to do here in the House of Commons
Then you should have told him about it 2 weeks ago when they asked you the first time.
The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Well, if he doesn't want to answer questions, he shouldn't show up at question period. Mr. Speaker, the last time Donald Trump threatened to deport people, many headed for Canada. The result was Roxham Road, and we're still suffering the consequences. The result was Roxham Road because the federal government had no plan. The Prime Minister issued a blanket invitation to a wave of immigration without making the slightest preparations to get ready for it. And then
lowering the sale price on building, lowering overall price on building lowers the price on the sales.
years
who
to
is this
react.
besides
Today,
government?
Trump
Nobody.
is setting the table for an even bigger wave
Literally
than
nobody.
the one on Roxham Road. Nobody wants to live through that all over again. What's the plan? The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. I won't do like the Bloc does constantly. We do have a plan. We'll keep working on it regardless of who.
I'm not gonna do what you guys do. I'm not gonna tell you the plan. I'm not gonna do what I need to do and tell you what's gonna happen.
Tomorrow. This is not something that we're going to discuss on the floor of the House of Commons 24 hours before a U.S. election. So unlike the Bloc, we'll talk
because
about
the U.S. is riveted and glued to the Canadian politics. They're just glued to question period every single day.
Later.
After 9 years of these NDP Liberals, they are not worth the cost of housing. 50% of young Canadians have abandoned the dream of buying a home one day. Rent, mortgage, and down payment
USA sends illegal aliens to their home countries, FYI. I know they do. They're saying that these people, as they're being sent back to their home countries, are going to reach out to Canada and request asylum. That's what they're saying, that they're going to run to Canadian embassies and request asylum from us. That's what they're saying.
Have all doubled. Common sense conservatives will axe the federal sales tax on new homes sold. On an $800,000 house, this will save home buyers $40,000 or $2,200 a year in mortgage payments. Our plan means more housing for young Canadians desperately trying to enter the housing market for the first time. Will the NDP Liberals axe the GST on housing for more young Canadians so they can finally buy a home?
And that's $200. That's about $200 to $250 a month savings on your mortgage. That's pretty good.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Mr. Speaker, as we've seen, the Conservatives continue to say that they'll make cuts to pay for their proposals, including this GST initiative, so-called. So what will that mean? It means the Accelerator Fund will come to an end. The members from Kelowna, a few weeks ago I met with Kelowna's Mayor Tom Dias, who shared with me that federal funding secured through the Housing Accelerator Fund has led to a digital permit system that's improved approvals that would have taken even a year ago, a year and a half plus to approve.
And how many houses have actually been how many houses have actually been started, as in foundations dug, bricks beginning to be laid, etc.
And days, Mr. Speaker. Huge change.
The Honourable Member from Kelowna Lake Country.
Well, even the Liberal housing advisor, Mike P. Moffat, on the failed Liberal housing plan said the federal Liberals have lost the plot. Habitat for Humanity said reducing GST would reduce costs. Canadian Home Builders Association said it will make a big difference. Canadian Real Estate Association said this proposed step is a positive move forward, lowering building costs, increasing housing supplies, and making home ownership more attainable for Canadians. Will the NDP Liberals axe the GST on housing so more young Canadians can finally buy a home?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the simple answer is the Conservative policy on housing is a dud. That's the bottom line.
It's a dud? How is it a dud? How is taking the sales tax off of building new homes under $1 million a dud?
Mr. Speaker, and let me tell you about an issue that Canadians are truly concerned about. You have the leader of the Conservative Party that continues to refuse to get a security clearance.
Oh my God.
I believe Canadians have a right to know why it is that the Conservative leader refuses to get it. What is he hiding? Is there something about his past that Canadians should know about? It's time the leader step up and be honest with Canadians.
Yes. You okay? Okay, I am gonna go tuck in the child. So I will be right back. Alright, guys. I didn't think I'm gonna end and put the little one to bed. Give my voice a break. I don't know if I'm gonna do Glasside Gaming tonight because of my voice, but we'll see. But I'm gonna end and go put the boys to bed. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching. I'll be back tomorrow with some videos and some more live streams. And if I am live again tonight, you'll know. But I don't know. So